This May 9th, 2024, ignite your entrepreneurial spirit at the Entrepreneurs Rally, a day where vision meets action in the heart of Minnesota. Join us at the JW Marriott for an unparalleled gathering of minds. Witness NBA legend and business maven Bill Walton share his journey from the basketball court to the boardroom. Be inspired by Candace Mama, Vogue Paris' most inspiring woman, as she unpacks the power of forgiveness and leadership. From the opening coffee to the closing VIP reception, the Entrepreneurs Rally is your arena to connect, learn, and grow. With over 500 entrepreneurs, industry leaders, and experts, it's more than an event. It's a catalyst for your next big leap. Whether you're looking to deepen your knowledge in sales, finance, marketing, or operations, or to ignite your passion and meet like-minded individuals, this is where your journey accelerates. Don't miss out on this extraordinary learning, networking, and inspiration day. Reserve your spot now for the Entrepreneurs Rally. Go to entrepreneursrally.org. The Entrepreneurs Rally. This May 9th, 2024 at the Mall of America. That's entrepreneursrally.org, where dreams meet drive. See you there. Welcome to this episode of UnCharted Entrepreneurship. Today I have Tim Porth. He is the founder and president of FixBOD. Tim, go ahead, do an introduction much better than I did. Tell us your day-to-day role and maybe one of your passions in life.
Yeah, well, thanks for having me, Brent. I appreciate it. Yeah, I'm one of the co-founders, actually. I've got a couple of business partners in this venture, but at FixBOD, what we do is we have a solution for tennis and golfer's elbow, which is a nagging condition that it's actually a terrible name for the condition because most people don't get it from playing tennis or golf. It's really an overuse situation with the elbow. So it's a tendinosis situation. So over the years, I struggled with tennis elbow and golfer's elbow off and on for like 7.5 years before co-founding this company, when one of my physical therapy friends said, it's not the treatment that we give that's the problem. It's that I'm not a good patient. I'm what they call a non-compliant patient. So I did a bunch of research. I've got a product development and marketing background, was intrigued by this situation and the opportunity, and found there's about 14 million people with the condition, but there really aren't good, easy to use solutions. So we set out to change that, and we like to say that we take the pain out of physical therapy, so we make the whole process easier.
Yeah. Awesome. And passions?
Passions. I'd probably break it into 3 things. Family time. I'm kind of a fitness and health nut, so I like to do a lot of active activities with my kids and my wife. Fitness is definitely a passion for me. And then the last one would just be business. I love entrepreneurship and that whole journey and really learning.
That's awesome. So, Tim, before we get started, you have volunteered to be part of the Free Joke Project.
Yes.
I'm going to tell you a joke, and all you have to do is say, should that joke be free, or do you think some point somebody should charge for it, or should we have some invention that helps us get over our funny bone problems? Yeah, that's not the joke, but all right. So here we go.
I'm ready.
After spending an hour unclogging the bathroom sink, I felt pretty drained.
Oh. We're in dad joke territory there.
Yeah.
My kids wouldn't pay for it. Other dads might pay for it.
Oh, yeah. Maybe I found a market in the dad market.
There's riches and niches. So
I should have had a dad bod joke. Now that I think about it, well, next time we'll do a follow up. All right. So let's talk about let's talk about your background and how you got into it. Tell us a little bit about your entrepreneurial journey and how you got there.
Yeah, I think like a lot of entrepreneurs, I started young, doing side jobs, making money, trying to do different things, inventing. I have a degree in product design, industrial design, and that kind of evolved into marketing and then evolved into really business. But I started out, I wanted to work in a category that I really enjoyed. So I found a job designing fitness equipment, which I did for 8 years for some of the big companies, and then started a fitness company with another gentleman that I worked with called Octane Fitness. We ran that. It was really the American dream. It was a great market opportunity that we stepped into. Ran that for about 15, 16 years and really enjoyed it. And that's where kind of I fell in love with business. And then from there, the opportunity came up when I continued to struggle with my tennis and golfer's elbow when, like I had mentioned, one of my physical therapy friends told me it was my problem, not his problem. And, I looked at the whole compliance factor and, just saw an opportunity with healthcare as it continues to get more complex. People are more starved for time. And it really seemed to be one of those opportunities where we could step in and make a change and kind of rethink the traditional physical therapy process.
All right. Yeah. So I'm going to rank myself as the non-compliant user as well as you. And I know, so I'm a runner and I often have injuries. I'm an everyday runner. I have a streak. So oftentimes I'll say, yeah, my knees are sore or whatever, or something is sore on my body. And somebody will say, well, did you see the physical therapist? Yeah. How are their exercises working? Well, I don't know. I haven't done any of them yet, but hopefully they'll work at some point.
That's exactly it. You are not uncommon. And I fit in the same boat. A lot of us don't want to go to a doctor. You don't know who to go to, because there are good doctors or bad doctors. There are good PTs, bad PTs. Do you go to a chiropractor? It's complicated. It's complicated. It takes time. And if you find the wrong one, then is my insurance covered? And then doing the exercises, there's studies out there that show that 30% of people complete their physical therapy. So you're not alone.
Yeah. So tell us what problem are you solving and how are you solving it? We know what the problem is, but tell us how you're solving it.
Yeah. So what we did was we replicated a treatment called scraping, and you might have had it done as a runner. They'll do it on quads and hamstrings to break up scar tissue and adhesions in tendons and muscles. And tennis elbow and golfer's elbow is on the inside, tennis elbow is on the outside of the elbow. And there's just small tendons in there that attach to the bone that then connect to the muscle. And those get stressed over time. And once you hit like 40 years old, seems to be kind of a tipping point for people where you don't heal as well. And I'm sure you've experienced that as a runner. That all of a sudden it takes another day to heal or, even longer. So what our process does, we didn't invent the process. It's been around for over 500 years in Asian medicine called gua sha. And then it's called scraping in physical therapy, where they basically take like a butter knife and they run it over your tendon or your muscle. And that naturally breaks up the scar tissue and adhesions and stimulates the blood flow so that they can heal naturally. The challenge with scraping is you have to do it multiple times over a long period, especially if you're chronic. So we make it really easy. We designed a device, like I said, that replicates that process. You strap it onto your arm. It's a little big and heavy. I lovingly say it's about the size of a Chipotle burrito or a little bit bigger. But you sit down for 10 minutes a day, 3 times a week for 8 weeks. You let the machine do its work. And then we give you simple stretches and exercises to do that take 4 to 5 minutes. And so you use the device 10 minutes a day, 3 times a week for 8 weeks, and then you do the stretches. And then we have an app that goes along with it that is like our digital physical therapist that keeps you on track, tells you exactly what to do, tracks what you're doing. So it makes it really easy. And the compliance factor is really high. When we surveyed a buying group from 2001, 93% said they completed the 8-week therapy. So if we can just get people to do it, our success rate's really high.
Yeah, so that's a great solution. To tell us a little bit about the product development and how you set about doing that.
Yeah, it was really a fun journey. I started out designing consumer products and medical products, and then I went into classic fitness equipment, treadmills, ellipticals, bikes, weight equipment, Smith machines, all that kind of stuff. So I have a background in designing and making stuff, but this was a new venture just on, all right, how long is the scraping motion? How deep should it be? What's the attack angle? So we designed over 50 different prototypes. Took us about 3 years from the first business plan to selling the product. There was a little bit of a delay there, probably about 6 months due to COVID, to get product done. But it's just a lot of tweaking, making a product, tweaking it, making another change, tweaking it. And with 3D printing and stuff, we were able to make a lot of different devices to try. And fortunately, I'm the guinea pig and have used the device more than anyone. I've had tennis and golfer's elbow in both arms. It's come back to me a little bit, soreness, not pain, since I've designed the device and since I've been good, but my elbows have been really strong for the last 4 years.
And you mentioned you have some future ideas. I've had scraping. It's on my heel, I guess,
Yeah.
mainly.
Yeah. Achilles
Um,
tendonitis, maybe.
yeah, I've had every single problem from the foot all the way up to the hips.
Yep. Yep.
So what it's in the future for that?
Yeah, it's still to be determined. I mean, we're working on stuff in the background. We're really focused on maximizing the elbow to start. But, the greater vision is if we can simplify something, a process that people have to go into the clinic over and over again, we think there's opportunity. So we're excited about the future. Short-term future is really direct to consumer, and we have clinics and offices buying our product and using it. So we want to make sure we have that engine down and figured out before we launch the next thing. But there's stuff we've got our eyes on.
Yeah, I the other thing I've had to have done is dry needling, and there was a
Yeah.
doctor that used electricity in the dry needling.
Yep.
I don't
Yep.
imagine that's going to be something that you can do as a product. It'd be kind of
Yeah, we really like non-invasive stuff
yeah.
at this point. So there's a lot of things I think we can address. Dry needling is a big concept. Yeah, acupuncture, all that. That's part of the challenge is that we call it buffet therapy. Our customers wind up being told, try this. There's all sorts of, air quotes, solutions that are really repurposed techniques for other conditions that aren't necessarily applicable to tennis elbow or golfer's elbow, but they're marketed that way. So we're super focused on how do we solve a problem and how do we prove that that problem is fixable and that our product addresses it.
Yeah, and I guess I could see that you could do a foam roller. So most of the time, knee problems are your tendon, your IT band that's pulling, or your muscles that are pulling on your knee. You could do a strap-on foam roller that that automatically
Yeah,
does your legs while you sit and watch Netflix.
yeah, you bring up a great point because diagnosing is one thing, and we're not going to replace a physical therapy clinic for sure. But there's the diagnostic side of saying, okay, this is exactly what you have, and then there's ways to address it. So we love it when people go in. One of the first things we'll do is ask them, have you seen a doctor? Have you seen a PT? There are a couple simple tests that we can give people to say, yeah, you probably have tendonitis, tendinosis. And then we can hone in right on that solution.
Good. So I want to switch gears a little bit to EO. So you are a new member in Entrepreneurs Organization Minnesota, and I'm also a member of Entrepreneurs Organization. So tell us a little bit about how you found it and why you chose to join.
Yeah, how I found it, I was kind of scratching my head because I was asked that question when I signed up. And, like everything today, you get hit in so many directions from different things. And I don't know if I can nail down how I found it. Something, it might have been the Traction book series, EOS, and they talked about EO. And maybe that's how I stumbled across it, or that's gave me a little validation on it. But I went to a couple events over the last couple of years, and I was really intrigued. And the people that I met, it's like, if you're an entrepreneurial nerd, it's like the best place to go. So, I had just fantastic conversations with people on, what they're doing. Some, I like to say I'm banging my head on the same wall. It's just a different side from a lot of people. And I love just learning about how other people are attacking it, because my past has been B2B, and this is a D2C product. So it's a little different for me on that front. So I'm really excited to share learnings and understand how other people are banging their head on the same wall.
Yeah. So, what is your expectation? And well, I should back up. Have you gone through forum training yet?
I have.
Okay,
Yeah,
so you have some expectations on what to do when you join. Are you and you're planning on joining a forum?
I am. Yeah.
Great. So, tell us a little bit about what you're expecting and what are your thoughts in your head?
You know, I'm excited. I'm opportunistic on this. I'm hoping that people in my forum, I know it's a diverse group and different backgrounds and categories and everything else. So I'm just excited to learn from people and be able to share my learnings and then also my concerns and what my challenges are. Because, an outside opinion from somebody is so valuable to just understand how other people are doing things, whether it's direct to consumer or not. There's so many things that are applicable, resources, who people are using. There's just so many things. Every time I've gone to the meeting, I walk away completely refreshed.
Yeah, awesome. So, you've been in your first forum? You haven't been in a forum yet.
I have not been in a forum yet. So
Okay.
I just went through my training a couple days ago.
Got it. Perfect. All right. So, and I'll just add on there that you probably shouldn't be getting a lot of opinions. You should be getting experience sharing from your other forum members, but that's
Yeah.
all semantics. And I think that you'll learn a lot in that. My biggest thing that, I get out of it and forum by far is the best value I get out of EO, but just, having some balance as well as from business, personal, family. A lot of forums really do balance out those different aspects of your life. And I like to say it's a holistic approach to your entrepreneurial journey. There's not a lot of people that are spending 100% of their life in their business. If they do that, they have to
Mm-hmm.
sacrifice their family and their personal life. And it
Yep.
sounds like you're also an athlete. So unless you're a professional athlete, it's hard to be an athlete and an entrepreneur. I see it as a channel to help me um, uh, to find or to escape from that doldrum of sitting in this chair and doing something that's non-physical. So I think that mental aspect is also an important part. Tell us a little bit about how you make up your business life and what motivates you.
Uh, I think I'm just really passionate on, like I said, I love to learn, and this direct to consumer and new category and helping people has been, it's probably the number one driver. We talk about at FixBOD, people, our employees need to really want to help people. You have to have a deep desire. So that really returns a lot of energy. And then I'm just interested in measurements and how we continue to move forward, setting up dashboards. I really like building things. I mean, that's kind of my background, is how do we improve and outpace our numbers and really set the objectives, and how do we um, surpass them. I mean, it's just, I'm always been excited by that kind of stuff. I've never had an issue of, well, I guess in school I had an issue of being a procrastinator, but at work I enjoy it enough that I love doing it.
So you did mention EOS earlier. Are you running EOS?
We were running EOS originally, and then we had a couple people on the team, and then we kind of skinnied things down because we figured out, all right, we got to rethink some of the things we're doing. And it's my business partner from Octane Fitness, and then one other employee. So we only have three people at this time, and we are not running it. But I read all the books. I'm addicted to it. But we were on 90, the software platform, before EOS 1 came out. So I'm very familiar with it. And I think it's a great, great system.
As an entrepreneur, do you think there's something that's within you that drives you to do things that somebody that would be depending on a paycheck wouldn't even think about?
Yeah, yeah. One of my sons said that to me, and he's just finished college, and he said, "I don't think I could ever start a company. Just he wants the security." And I never even really thought about it. I've been designing fitness equipment for other people for 8 or 9 years, and then when I stepped out to do it on my own, I really didn't think it was a big deal. It was just I was going to do it for myself instead of for somebody else. And then some of my friends said, "Man, you're crazy. Like you've got one kid and another one on the way, and you're going to do this." I'm like, "Well, it's not that big a deal." I just kind of didn't even think about it. So just kind of keep moving forward.
I think there's do you feel as there's a different level of risk that you're willing to do, or you don't even see it as a risk for other people would say, I can't leave my job because I don't know where the bit of money's coming from or whatever.
Yeah, I don't know if it's risk tolerance, or if I'm just dumb. It like when I did it, I said, okay, this is the downside. When we decided to start Octane, I said, my wife and I sat down and I said, I think this could really happen, and I think there's a great opportunity. And here's if this wins, this is what happens, and it would be great. And if it doesn't win, let's say 2 years down the road, we're going to be out this much money. We're going to be set back. I'll be looking for a new job, but I'll get a new job and I'll have an amazing experience and story to tell that I think in the long term isn't really a loss. So that was my approach. That was my sales pitch. And it worked.
Yeah, that's good. So without telling any secrets, you're manufacturing a product, is that right?
Yeah, we don't ourselves. We have a third party vendor that manufactures it. Yeah, but we did all the design work. We did all the prototyping.
And this all started during the pandemic, and now you've launched post-pandemic, or you went through the pandemic while doing this?
Yeah, the pandemic was good and bad for us. So I did the first business plan in March of 2018. And then we wound up having a pilot run, which is our first production run in Asia in December of 2020. So right before the world got shut down. So we were over there, we ran product, everything was fantastic. And then we came back and said, we'll be in production in 3 months. This will be great. And the world shut down and nobody could go into the factory and, that whole story. But the positive side of it was there were a bunch of people that we were calling that wouldn't call us back, like professional tennis coaches and golf instructors and stuff like that were very busy and they would never call us back. Well, all of a sudden they had nothing to do, so they would pick up the phone and talk. So that time we continued to pound away and work at it and made a lot more connections. So I guess it was a little blessing in disguise.
I have to ask because so many people are fascinated by pickleball now. That has to be one of the overuse in pickleball has to be another potential avenue for you. They'll probably end up calling it pickleball elbow or something like that. Yeah,
we love pickleball. I like it personally. I love to play, but I love it even more because it drives some people to have pickleball elbow. But it's a great activity. It's got a lot of people coming off the couch that haven't been moving much, and we like to say that tennis elbow hibernates. If you're not using your elbow, you can have that scar tissue in there. I think I mentioned that before, and then it comes out. But we definitely help people with pickleball elbow, but there's fishing elbow, there's typing elbow, there's bowling elbow, there's construction elbow. It's all over the map.
Yeah, that brings up an interesting point. My golf score and my bowling score are the same, so I'm not sure what that says about me.
You could sell that joke.
Yeah. So your future now, like FixBOD is growing. What do you see in the horizon for the next couple of years?
Yeah, it's a great question. We had a really good 2023. I mean, we were up over 22, and 2024 has started out really strong. So we're really just kind of massaging and honing in our website, our conversions, our advertising. I mean, we're super focused on that. We're also making a few little changes in the product and how we tell the story. It's a lot deeper than I ever thought it would be. There's all kinds of little things that we realize customers need to understand in our processes. So we're adding in a lot of different things like that. So that's really our focus on 2024 is to improve that marketing engine, number one. And then number two, we're starting to look at, all right, what's next and what kind of products what's the next product to come out?
And you mentioned D2C, but do you also see a strategy by partnering with other clinics or, Stretch Lab or something like that to help get those people involved and saying, here's a great product for you that would help you with your recovery?
Yeah, we spent a lot of time in 2021 and 2022 and part of 23 in testing out different places. But this is kind of a unique product where a lot of companies start out D2C and then want to go retail. We haven't found the right retail partner for this yet. And I don't know if there is one yet. I think there's some opportunities down the road, but it's kind of a complicated story. And we found that we need to really hit people when they're in pain. So when they're searching, there's 14 million people in the US with tennis and golfer's elbow. There's 1 million people searching on Google and Bing. So we hit those people and we do well with the people searching. And then there's lookalike audiences on YouTube or on Instagram and Facebook. Then we're looking at YouTube and TikTok potentially to expand to see if those work to get in front of these people with a lookalike audience strategy. Retail, though, there's just not enough people that come in. We've tried tennis tournaments, pickleball tournaments, golf shows. We've partnered up with the professional coaching associations to get in front of tennis coaches. And it really hasn't had the payback that we see on the direct to consumer side, on the paid search and paid social. But clinics are something. We have proactive clinics that buy the product and use it. We have doctors that refer it. So it's a long way to convince some of those guys. And it's more of a onesie twosie sale versus mass.
Right. Tim, what I'd love to do is get you back in 6 months and learn about how we started with some expectations around EO. I would love to have you back to see how those expectations have been met or not met in a sort of a format that we can be honest and open about. As I close things out on the podcast, I give everybody a chance to do a shameless plug about anything you'd like. What would you like to plug today?
Shameless plug. It's got to be about elbows, doesn't it? I mean, it's really for me, it's about providing a solution for people that is simple. We say there's kind of two pains to tennis and golfer's elbow. There's the pain in your elbow, and there's the pain of fixing it or finding a solution. So we have a really simple solution. If it doesn't work, we give you your money back. So I gotta plug my business.
That's awesome. I'll make sure I put your contact details. How do they tell people how they contact you if they're just listening?
Yeah, I mean, they can go to FixBOD, and it's it's FIIX, so it's 2 I's, FixBOD.com. And then we're on Facebook, Instagram, and then on LinkedIn as well.
That's awesome. Tim Porth, thanks so much for being here. It's been a great conversation.
Yeah, thanks, Brent. I appreciate it.
UnCharted Entrepreneurship is a production of Content Basis, LLC. Copyright 2023. You can find more award-winning content at contentbasis.io. And that wraps up the latest edition of UnCharted Entrepreneurship. Bold tales from entrepreneurial trailblazers. I'm your host, Brent Peterson, signing off after an incredible fireside chat with one of our intrepid trailblazing guests. Their firsthand perspective on conquering the unexplored wilds of business is just a taste of the rare wisdom you'll discover from pioneering entrepreneurs on this show. I also invite you to join me each week for insider commentary on the startup scene and digital marketing landscape on my Talk Commerce podcast. You can find Talk Commerce wherever you download podcasts or go to talk-commerce.com. I'd be grateful if you left a review and rating for UnCharted Entrepreneurship to help more bold founders find their way to game-changing insights that empower ventures to transform communities. This is your host, Brent Peterson, signing off for now. I'll see you around the virtual campfire next episode as we embark on another adventure into the great entrepreneurial unknown.